That's bullshit. I listen to. I'm a very good listener. Ask all my women friends. I'm a very good listener.
So you're saying we aren't friends?
Right.
Oh, listen. You and I both know that in the relationship we have, Vegas really sealed our friendship. Because I don't know how, but we was rocking for a minute. And then I seen you in Vegas. And I came over and laid on your lap on the couch. And we've been friends ever since.
Because you're family.
Exactly.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi. Welcome to our extended family.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
This is all docked up. I'm Chris. That's VJ's Penrose. We are here. Ain't nobody else here yet, though. So
maybe we should do so some other time.
No, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, we can start.
But also, people are watching football, so we might have to discuss.
I'm watching football.
We might have to discuss some things for the duration of football.
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought about that too. I was like,
it didn't hit me until like 3 hours.
It didn't hit me till today.
Yeah,
today I was like, oh, we going on at fucking prime time, fucking the late game. Like, sheesh.
Now that football's back, we might have to figure out what we're gonna do about that.
Right.
For sure.
All right. So, guys, we're here. We are discussing. Is it the worst day in NBA history?
Not my personal opinion, no.
Define worst, because
I was gonna say I didn't really care for when Michael came back with the Wizards jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that was kind of a pitiful day for me.
I've seen some dark days post Bulls.
What's the name? Died on the court. That was enough for me.
Oh yeah.
Reggie, what was his name? Reggie Lewis, I think, for the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a
shitty.
fucking crazy ass night. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we are discussing Malice in the Palace.
At the Palace.
Oh, is it at the Palace? I've been hella saying in the Palace because that's
the Palace don't even exist no more, girl. So the Malice is in there.
The Palace has been gone.
So the Malice, wherever you go, now the Malice is in your heart, girl, because they demolished it.
In your heart.
Yo, that was a fucking state-of-the-art stadium too. Well, at one point, that's why it was called the Palace. That shit was like the leading stadium at one point, and they tore that bitch all the way the fuck down.
Right. I mean, parts of that in the documentary, but yep. So we don't know what we're talking about. Talking about the Palace at Auburn Hills.
But the fucking Pontiac Silverdome lasted as a goddamn drive-in theater. Fuck ass stadium. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry. No, my mom is still texting me. I was telling VJ earlier that my mom don't know how to Amazon, so she'd be screenshotting me stuff to Amazon for her. But like, why do her messages say that she just sent that to me at 10 and 15 in the morning, and we like definitely just talking right now? That's what mine says that I sent it at 5:14, but hers says it came back at 10:15 a.m.
I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe she tried to send it at 10:15 and it didn't go through.
But we just now having this conversation.
Listen.
Anyway,
we're gonna start a support group for children who have to place their moms or Amazon orders. We just gonna start.
I'm literally ordering it now.
So we started a support group for children between the ages of 28 and 42.
Probably just in general, like
just in general,
because life is hard, you guys.
Children of adult parents who do not know how to use technology. It's just gonna be a big group of us complaining.
Dog, I used to hate for my mother to be like, "Yo, so how do I get?" For one, anytime they put "the" in front of something that doesn't have a "the," you already know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's gonna be a long night.
I was just in my sewing group. I turned my head. Your baby wanted to use the computer. Now I can't get to the Facebook. What the fuck is the Facebook?
It's the book.
I was in my sewing group on the Facebook, and I can't.
They don't know. They be trying. Mom was like, I commented on your picture and no one commented back. Well, why would they come back to you? I commented on your post and you didn't say anything back because I don't use Facebook because it's for you.
And I know you in real life, Mom. So there's that.
Didn't I also send you the picture? Why are you on Facebook?
All right.
I'm trying
All
to see
right,
if everybody
Crystal.
else likes
I've
it like
ordered
that.
everything. You
She
told
do
me
her
to
best,
order
man.
today.
She going through it.
All right.
Oh.
So everything's
Well,
been Amazon for Crystal. We're all good. Let's go.
So we had Malice at the Palace.
Yes.
Or in it.
Or in your heart. Wherever the Malice the Malice could be.
Look,
But
But
look,
originally, the Malice was at the Palace. The Palace
It
at
was.
Harvard Hills on
It
November
was.
19th, 2004.
yes.
it was.
So
And when
before
I
we
say-
start, do y'all remember where you were when you heard
Yes.
about the Malice at the Palace?
Yes. Wholeheartedly know exactly where I was at.
Yes.
Because I remember the year before when they won the championship, and I remember what the fuck I was doing in 04 that led me to being the dad that I am today. Read between the motherfucking lines.
Fucking.
Woo,
I had just
glad,
moved to. I was in Vegas for just a year, and I was watching television with my grandma, like watching the game with my grandma, like, and I couldn't believe it. Like,
I remember we was watching the game, and well, I don't know. I think we was at my baby mama house, and I got up to go get something out the refrigerator, like a Red Pop or some shit. And I just remember her like, "Hey, hurry, come the fucker! They fighting!" And I ran in the room. And when I ran in the room, I just seen this nigga Artest running up in the stands and shit. What up, Jay? And I just like, nigga, I just froze. Like, I think like when you walk in and you startle you and you whatever pose you make, I think I was in that pose.
He just holding the Red Pop up his mouth.
Just like
yeah. She like, they fight. I ran in the room and it's like whatever pose I was in when I caught eyes on the TV, it was just for the rest of the fucking time, bro. Like, yeah.
Up until now, when this documentary came out, we only saw what ESPN showed us. So depending on what side of the court you were on, you determine like whether if them niggas got their ass beat or if it was a travesty, right? Because back then, the Bulls wasn't doing so great, y'all. I always have a secondary team. That's just how I roll. I don't think that's fake or anything like that. It's Bulls for life, always and always. But I was fucking with the Pistons back then.
But how'd you get it in the same division though?
Yeah, because like, I just defaulted to the Lakers, girl. Come on now.
Because like,
I can't. I can't. The Lakers and I can't. Like it's I can't do. Like
y'all.
Because I mean, it was like close. I mean, I like their style. I like their style.
But I mean, you have to appreciate the team that Detroit put together in that run in the early odds. Like
I'm trying to tell you. That's what it was. It was the culmination of everybody that they brought together, and it just fucking worked.
But,
like
it worked. But that's worked. That's what's beautiful about this documentary too, because if you actually think of that Pacer team, that's how they got there. Like Ryan Artest got traded. Steven Jackson, I think, was picked up in free agency, I believe.
Right.
Jermaine O'Neal was traded, and if you look at the Pistons now. We won't call those guys throwaways. The difference I will say is everybody on that Piston team, they considered a throwaway outside of Tayshaun because he was drafted.
Right.
Ben, Ben was with the fucking Magic. Nobody even knew Ben Wallace played for the Orlando Magic.
Like, not really.
What I'm saying?
I literally thought he was born a Piston. I didn't know. Like
that's what a lot of niggas know. Rasheed was on his way out the league till they offered this nigga $30 million for half a fucking season or $18 million for half a season. Then what? Chauncey Billups, I think we was his fifth stop in the fucking league.
Team, right?
And
I think Rip Hamilton was there. Yeah,
Rip Hamilton because it didn't work out with him and Jordan. Once Jordan retired again, they like, oh, Rip, I don't know.
So sorry, cannot keep you. I mean, yes, it really was just two scrappy teams that were kind of put together in some odd circumstances. But no, you definitely have to appreciate what Detroit was able to put together there. Like all bullshit aside.
Hey, yo, and I'm gonna let y'all talk. I got two things to say real quick. First off, for all you fuck ass fans who say the only reason the Pistons beat the Lakers is because Karl Malone wasn't there, you mean to tell me from that team, Kobe and Shaq wasn't enough? Who's your mother? Also,
not Karl.
Karl
Malone was hurt. Carl,
Let me
I'll
pull out
give
my
you.
Come alone and win.
Who said that? Who said that?
When the Pistons beat the Lakers and Magic was hurt, I give you Lakers fans that one. But that shit was them niggas had Kobe and Shaq in their prime. What up, sis? And you gonna tell me they couldn't beat them, man? Please. Anyhow, in the second thing, and I'm gonna shut up.
The deciding factor? Who said that?
That's what a lot of niggas say. That's what a lot of Laker fans will tell you, that if Karl Malone played in that series, they would have beat the Pistons.
Shut up. You mean to tell me that they were going around telling people that rapist Malone was the reason?
Child molested Malone.
Oh, okay. All right. As long as we're on the same page. All right, that's fine.
Yeah. I tell niggas all the time, look, I'll play with the old Utah team on the game and keep Karl Malone on the bench the whole time. I have no respect for that nigga.
Like,
and the fact that you ain't want to claim your son and you only claimed your daughter once she made it to the league, get your fuck ass out of here. Second thing I want to say, and then I'm done. I like how they set the fucking tone, because you immediately was like asking the Detroit fans, which was none of them black, that was funny to me. But how did they feel about it? But then they showed all these decrepit ass shots of the hood, and I was just like, yo, they set the Palace is nowhere near none of that shit that they just showed. Not even close, nigga.
Wild. And we'll get to it, but there's a reporter that they have that sits with us throughout this and is kind of talking, a journalist who's kind of talking about the whole fallout. And they ask him kind of like, why do you think it was portrayed the way it was portrayed? And I was hoping he'd say one thing, and he didn't quite get there.
Who, Mitch Albom?
Let's say he didn't quite get where I needed him to be, but he tried. Good on him. So this particular, what's interesting about this is that we do talk about obviously those events, but we see them from a bunch of different sides, which I think is very good, because I think when we were seeing it, when it happened in real time, we saw the clips on ESPN, unless you were watching the game, which at that point, guys, we didn't have streaming services back in the early aughts. Like,
niggas wasn't really rewinding stuff for us. They wasn't hitting us with different cameras. We literally saw baseline low for most of that fucking fight.
And then depending on where you were and who else was playing, you might not have,
nigga, because I used to, nigga.
You might not have saw the game, nigga. This is what you get. Good luck. Watch it. And then sometimes you didn't even see it. You just caught the highlights on ESPN because the game would be played regionally and it wouldn't be nationally televised.
That wasn't the playoffs.
No, it was not a playoff
game.
No, it was not. It was just the next time that they met after the Pistons had just
that
won.
was just the next season. Yeah, that shit was probably as far as Indiana. So Indiana, Illinois,
we got
Michigan. It. That's what I'm saying. Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, maybe Wisconsin. And if you got cable and you play for the NBA package, that's it.
I wouldn't say I was watching something else, but somebody was like watching it. Streaming it.
I bet that shit got changed to every channel or something. But
then
a lot of niggas didn't see it till, like you say, ESPN clips.
ESPN. And then the thing about the ESPN clips is they were like zooming in and shit was grainy. And you just like really didn't get a good depiction of what the fuck was happening. And I just think it's interesting that me, back then, being a Pistons fan, like secondary fan, I gotta keep saying that, secondary fan, watching this documentary, I saw it completely different now. Like, I had an opportunity to see it completely different. And it kind of changed my perspective of that evening.
So I'm not gonna lie, and I know we're gonna get into the details, but I just want to say, as a diehard Piston fan, I don't like the Lions. I kind of fuck with the Tigers. I literally am a Red Wing and a Piston fan. The rest of that shit can go. So to deal with them niggas for 14 hard years of nothingness since the last time we won a chip, like, I felt like, fuck the Pacers after that day. Mm-hmm. And then I watched this documentary and I was like, ooh, fuck our team.
Yeah.
It's not really. There's a line drawn, and I feel like sometimes there's a line drawn in the sand, and then the line sometimes has to be erased depending on situations. And I think a lot of people blame the Pacers because Ron Artest ran into them stands. I think the reason that you can't blame Ron Artest is because this is a nigga who was getting the most technical fouls, who didn't give a fuck about none of that shit. And when all of this is going on, all he did was go lay on the scorer's table and got the fuck out the way. You poked
tried
that
to
bear?
avoid conflict, and the conflict
came raining down on him.
Literally, the conflict made itself known out of thin air. Literally out of thin fucking air.
Yeah,
this had to do with a foul on the fucking court.
Wow.
It's not even a playoff
end
game.
of the fucking game.
Game
The game was over. There was nothing that the Pistons could have done to come back from that game.
And for any of you who don't understand, like if you haven't watched this documentary yet, the year before we played the Pacers in the playoffs to go to the championship. For a lot of y'all to know Tayshaun Prince, that year was that Tayshaun Prince block on Reggie Miller, because Reggie Miller would have hit that shot, it was over for us. So that was that year. What a lot of people don't remember, I'm glad we won, but we technically won that series because Ron Artest did that dumbass foul at the end of the game.
At the end.
So, right. So in this game, then they talk about it in the documentary for all of y'all who haven't seen it. He says, yo, it's over. They can't do shit. You can go get your foul. And he goes and hard fouls the fuck out this nigga, though.
When there's nothing left in the game. Like, what is the purpose of that foul at that point in the game?
I think the thing was because he knew he fucked the championship up. That was more of just foul, my nigga, because nobody thought it was going to go that far. And then go get your foul, but don't go tackle the fuck out this nigga. And I think that's what when Reggie told him to go get the foul, or Jermaine, whoever said it, I think they just thought he was going to maybe wrap dude up or a ticky-tack foul. This nigga Ron Artest playing like just 15 minutes left in the game, and he down by 10.
Okay, so listen.
All right, so you want to start?
We sit with Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson, and Ron Artest, or formerly known as Ron Artest, but is now Meta World Peace.
Right.
So that was my question. I was going to be like, are we calling him Ron because this is when he was Ron when this is happening, or are we calling him Meta?
Let's just call him Ron.
His mama named him Ron. I'm gonna call him Ron.
We're just gonna call him Ron for the sake of of just keeping everything uniform, because that's how they all are calling him in this anyway.
Yeah, nobody calls him Meta in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of get background story on how the Pacers come together. So we learned Jermaine O'Neal gets drafted, 17th to the Blazers? Like, he comes out of high school.
Yes. At that time, he was the youngest player in the NBA.
Yeah. So
he player to ever play in the NBA,
Ever play at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, and I guess it's the same. I'm not gonna say the same story, but a lot of the story we hear where we have, Black professional athletes that come right out of high school or, leave college early because, they need the money. Like, I mean, and I know that sounds shitty and horrible, but I mean, that's normally the story. Like, they need money and they're trying to support their families, and this is the way to do it.
Right. Oh no, I wasn't disputing you. My bad. I was just about to say, I think that nigga still is the youngest, because after him, you had to be 18 after that. I think he played in the NBA game at 17 years old.
Because I think everybody after him was 18.
18. Yeah, I think you're right.
But anyway, like you were saying, like he was the linchpin to getting his family out the hood. The 17-year-old boy has to make man decisions and say, forego college and take this shot.
Right.
Yep. I mean,
and it happened for him. I mean, he was highly touted coming out of high school. The dude was 6'11" at 17 years old. There's really no downside to that. You either are gonna go to the league and be good, or you're shitty automatically. There really is no in between. When you're that big of a kid and you play that position and you're that dominant in high school, usually when you make that jump, you're either super shitty, or you know what I'm saying, or you get a bad deal, which. A lot of people say Kwame Brown was shitty, right? I think Kwame Brown got a bad deal in how he was dealt with. And that's why when Jermaine was drafted, and as we move forward in the documentary, he was traded. I like how he handled it. Because a lot of people would have just sat on the bench and tried not to rock the boat because they in the NBA. And he like, nah. Like, I know I'm young, but I think that is certainly a testament to his love of the game and him wanting to be good at basketball and be good on a professional level, not just get a check and sit on the bench. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he ends up at the Pacers. Like he said, he's excited to play with Reggie Miller. Which honestly, like, all bullshit aside and all the hate that Reggie Miller gets,
Pacer hate, all fucking Pacer and Miller hate aside, he all right or whatever.
Reggie Miller is probably, I mean, niggas can take
He
stuff
alright
off.
or whatever.
Listen, last 5 seconds in the game, I'm still taking Reggie for the shot over Steph.
Oh, I hate to. I'm nodding my head.
And
That's
he
all I
really-
got.
I
That's
mean,
all I got.
Listen,
until
what
Steph came along, like you really, if you were gonna say who would you say is the best
Who you
shooter,
putting it on
best
the line
pure
for?
shooter, jump
I'm
shot
taking
shooter.
Miller over Kobe for the. I'll make Kobe stand. I don't understand why niggas even have a Kobe and LeBron conversation. I'm that much of a Kobe stan. I'm taking Miller over Kobe for the last second shot.
He's
Like Reggie Miller, what a lot of
probably
niggas don't know.
usually good for it.
Reggie Miller damn near is the reason why a lot of these ticky-tack fouls is called. I remember watching a game and the niggas said it. They said, yo, Reggie don't be getting fouled. The commentator was saying it. Reg would shoot and clap his own fucking hands. Yeah. Every time. It wasn't on purpose, but that was his shooting form. Like, this nigga changed the game without even fucking knowing it. Like, Reggie Miller, yo, literally. Yeah.
All right.
Look at it.
Get emotional real quick.
Okay, we talked finally about him. That is enough.
Okay, great. He was great or whatever.
We've done
14 years in the league and shit. Okay, cool.
So basically, after the 2000 finals loss to the Lakers,
Tayshaun blocked your shit, nigga.
Yeah. So 2000 Pacers lose to the Lakers. Hey, Adam. And they decide they're gonna gut the team. This is like Reggie's 14th season. He's like I guess I can't remember the guy's name, the owner. He was just kind of like, Reggie's done everything that he could possibly do. You know, he's old. This is his 14th season. We got to try to bring some new blood in here.
When they lose to the Lakers,
they start kind of acquiring everybody. They trade the Bulls for Ron Artest. They get Steven Jackson from whatever rock they pulled him from under.
I just want to say very briefly, Ron did not need to bring up how he was glad to get away from the Bulls. Bro, tell the story of why we are here. I literally was like, is that what we're doing?
Nigga, look, when he said it, I was like, damn, they was shitty as fuck, but damn,
and we were, but you don't
we
have
were
to
going through this moment.
Like, no, y'all was going through it. I mean, y'all literally was in a time frame. It's hard as fuck to rebound because you got to think too. All that shit y'all did in the 90s, I'm sure trade picks had been, and this was the early 2000s. So certain trades, certain picks was given away that still was the fumbling effect of having a dominant team that ran the whole fucking
because
90s.
you don't get the higher,
you don't get that shit back.
So then when everybody's old, you're left with nothing.
Exactly.
And you pay these high ass salaries for so long, you don't have the cap space to go out and get
to fucking find these younger kids.
It's like when you young, you don't understand the money in the sports game. But now that I'm a grown man and understand it, y'all niggas literally went from the king to the shithole, and it was not y'all fault at all. It didn't have nothing to do with talent, none of that. Niggas, just like you said, niggas got old, contracts was too high. We didn't trade the draft picks. Jordan. I mean, because if you think about it, Ron Artest shit, that's the reason he won 91. The nigga mimicked Dennis Rodman. When y'all put that team together, Rick did everything y'all did. Yeah, Ron, he shouldn't have said that shit, but
it just wasn't necessary. But that's all
it was.
Yeah, it put some pain in my heart too. But we here now.
A little bit.
So basically, they're just like they kind of become like one of the better teams in the East, right? They go from like
they have the best record that whole year, right?
Right, yeah, they're like, they can definitely beat
the year after the championship. Yeah, no, actually, the year of the championship.
The year of the championship, they have the best record. Like.
They lost in Game 6 to the Pistons. Pistons went on to win championship.
And then that was that.
The 5-game sweep is what we call that.
Yo.
Okay, the 5-game sweep.
They were showing those clips of those finals games and like, wow, memories, taking it back, watching the infamous Rip Hamilton flip fish flops. Like wow. Like
all I remember him is how his braids used to be.
Like I used to cheer about that. I feel so embarrassed.
And then I feel like I used to think he was cute, and now I'm ashamed.
Right? That as well.
All I know is the world works off good energy. So all that good energy y'all have for that nigga at that time, I thank you for it.
It helped him flop harder. It helped him
flop.
Yo,
flop flawlessly.
All right, look. Rip Hamilton claws on LeBron to run. Goddammit. That's where LeBron got that shit from.
I believe that.
I don't respect flops at all, unless it's good for my team. And that nigga Rip was whopping his ass. That nigga just knew he was skinny as shit, right?
Right.
He was like those fucking flailing arm and inflatable tube man things.
Yes.
Real shit. The first 2 months after that face mask, that nigga was getting fired.
Oh my God. You could not touch this nigga after you put that Phantom of the Opera fucking shit on his face, nigga. You could not touch him.
Whoever checked Rip that night, if they was their best player, they was switching that nigga.
Fouled out. I'm not touching him.
Don't guard him. He's gonna fall out. If you breathe on his mask,
he's gonna fall out.
He's gonna fall. Don't do it.
He's gonna fall out.
Coach, come on in here and guard Rip.
We can't take no chances. You got 5 fouls, they give you 1. How many fouls do you
You're gonna need me in the 4th. I can't. Oh my God.
After that, I guess we sit with Ron Artest, and it's funny because the white people are calling him Ronnie, and I am screaming like, "Why are you calling him Ronnie? Like this nigga's in New Edition." They was calling him Ronnie like he was in New Edition, and I was like, "Which DeVoe is he?" Like, wait a minute now. Oh.
Like they used to feed that nigga pizza rolls with their kids at 13.
Yeah, little Ronnie was a little weird.
Little Ronnie.
He was a great basketball player, and we just loved him. And my wife, she just, Helen, just loved to cook.
Love little Ronnie.
Right.
Like
it was weird.
So the fucking Pistons win the chip, right? So the next time we see fucking Ron, he in the coop next time we see Ronnie, he in the coop like, hey, my album coming out. I really got time for this basketball.
Remember all the rappers, all the basketball players had rap albums. Kobe. Everybody had a rap album.
Shaq got like 10 albums.
It's like it was fine. And then when Dame Lillard made one, niggas was ready to like blow this nigga up for making a fucking rap album. He's actually a better rapper than any of the rest of them. Dame Lillard.
That's what I was about to say. Shaq was the best rapper.
Dame Dollars, nigga.
Until Dame Dollar picked up a microphone. That nigga got bars.
Listen, that's the part. Like they was on Dame's ass. Like he was rapping like Ron.
He said he rolled the coupe window down and was like, I don't know about these Pacers, but this album coming out. Like he rolled off like the Grey Poupon nigga. Like that's all I got.
You know what though?
Nigga, get out of here with this Shaq song, bitch. I'm outstanding.
Hey, Shaq held his own on the track with Biggie. That's it's only 2 niggas who done that.
Okay,
Shaq and
all right.
Tracy Lee.
Well, all right.
The only 2 niggas to rap like bar for bar with Biggie.
All right.
Y'all remember Tracy Lee? You remember him?
Bye. Okay.
It's party time.
Anyway. Ron basically was saying that he wanted to quit, and niggas was like, "Oh, that's interesting that you said that you want to quit when I have this piece of paper here that says you got to play with us for 6 more years."
You trying to retire right today?
Oh yeah. Like, are you coming back after your album out, or like, what? I don't know what to do about this. Because
he definitely was like, and then he was like, so I'm gonna promote this album, and when that gets done, then I'm gonna focus on the season.
Then I come back, like I was just rapping these songs. I was gonna come right back, like,
right? You know what I'm saying? Right. Hit with the Jay-Z real quick. My thing, but look though, he did admit to. This on some serious shit, even though this shit is still funny. If you watch us later, and even if you watch us live later, you know that we take some of the most tragic shit and make it funny and still give you a lesson. I want to say, as funny as this shit is, the serious side of it though is for anybody who might be going through something or whatever. The nigga, once he admitted to having like depression and anxiety, the shit
a lot of the behavior made sense. Yeah.
When you can't control your shit, nigga, this is why Kanye bought a $60 million home that he's never been in.
Yeah.
When he bought that big ass ranch in Wisconsin and shit, or maybe they did move right in. The point being is sometimes niggas be the pressure that you that nigga, and you just cost your team the whole season for a fuck ass foul. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
Not a pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? It was still. Don't get me wrong. For if I was in Jermaine O'Neal's shoes, and don't necessarily like you said, we knew he had a therapist. We knew he was talking to somebody, but we weren't privy to what his condition was. If I was in Jermaine O'Neal's shoes, nigga, you cutting the album and you at the Source Awards. Oh, fuck this.
Yeah, see, that was the other part. He said somebody died and that he needed to go to the funeral. They gave him the days off. This nigga's at the Source Awards, which, first of all, if you have a career outside of being in like a West Coast, East Coast like rap beef, you don't need to be at the Source Awards.
The Source Awards, not in them days. Not in them days. And then there was a Petey Pablo sighting.
Baby, they shoot. Don't he know? Baby, they shoot at the Source Awards. Like, why are you?
Listen, this is how you know.
That's what he wanted to quit. That's what he wanted to quit the Pacers for, y'all.
Listen. Petey Pablo is great for two things. For one, everybody know who else the backer is.
I really wrote this nigga at the Source Awards with Petey Pablo.
It was a Petey Pablo sighting. Like, who the
Take
fuck
your
was
jersey off, swing around your head like a helicopter.
We're gonna get to that, Autumn, because Jermaine to me got like the shittiest deal out of all of this. Like,
my very first note. Well, actually not my first, but once I did my second recap notes, my head note is Jermaine looks sad as fuck this entire documentary.
The whole time.
He looks very zen, like he has had to go through years of therapy and meditation and zen, and he done found whatever God you believe in. He has searched and found it, because you could tell that he's in a place where the shit is making him sad. He don't want to talk about it, but he's tried his best to just your boy Steven Jackson looked in the camera and said, "I'm gonna talk about this tonight, and I don't fucking want to talk about this anymore."
No more. So. I think what
nigga, I don't think so. I don't think
Jermaine O'Neal. Yeah, Jermaine O'Neal is not like. I think one of the
music
parts
played, I feel like Jermaine would have went out into the middle of the road and it would have started to rain, and he would have spun around with his shirt open or something. Like it would have been Jermaine. It would have been full on like R&B, lost my bitch, lost my dog. She took the house and the kid. Like he'd have spun around in the rain if they would have let him. He'd have been on his knees. Rocking.
I believe it was though.
I'm still burning till the palace is gone. Looking ass.
When back to shut up, yo. That nigga said till the palace is gone. Listen. Time out. So the other day I seen some shit where somebody was like, "Is Brandy's Ray J's sister now?" Or is he still Brandy's brother? I was like, yo.
She might be Ray J's sister.
She might be Ray J. Nigga said, yo, take all the silly antic bullshit away. Ever since Ray J has came into the game, financial and business-wise, he's literally had a better career than damn near anybody outside of Drake. That nigga's like,
I mean, he's selling scooty bikes and glasses that do like this, so I don't like. And niggas is buying it.
Ray J's sister. It might be.
When he's selling like, I mean, don't he sell them goddamn headphones that podcast with fucking sponsor deals? Trying to hawk us.
Somebody needs
also
to test their mama's DNA.
Because we'll sell your shitty headphones.
I'll sell your shit. I will get on a scooty bike. I'll locked up.
Was he selling them glasses that folded down too? Because I sell them shits too.
Somebody needs to test that family DNA, nigga. They all famous. You know that cousin a wrestler.
Good for him.
The girl. It's a girl wrestler. Their other cousin is Snoop. You know, Snoop and Daz is their first cousins, and then this wrestling girl. But they all first cousins. I want to see your grandparents because they would. Like nigga, right? This is some Avenger type shit. Anyway, back to the show. Like I feel like Jermaine was he was being made the face of that team. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Their hope was that after Reggie,
they were trying to make it younger.
It would happen pretty quickly. 14 season is that's a lot of goddamn seasons, and I think they were kind of expecting him to retire.
And it was 18 when he left.
When they got Jermaine, the idea was that he would be a leadership role in the locker room and take over when Reggie ultimately decided to retire.
Right. And I think that's why he looks so sad, is because this shit kind of tainted his career, and it really wasn't. Now that we see the documentary, it really wasn't his fault.
Did
kind of?
No, kind of too. I mean, he got
like, it fucked his career up.
Fucked.
Because Steven Jackson had already, I think Steven Jackson might have already had a ring with the Spurs, so he was kind of straight. This nigga Meta Leffen, or excuse me, Ronnie Leffen got a motherfucking ring
and got one.
Went to the Lakers and got a ring. Huh?
Doesn't he have more than one?
Who, Ron?
Yeah.
And I think he only got that one with the Lakers. I think that next year something stupid happened.
I was gonna say they lost the next year or something. Okay.
But something like they won because I know Dennis Rodman got one with them when that nigga went back, and it was around that same time.
So I was like, I don't know if he left. Maybe I forget, but yeah, I thought he had more than one, but maybe I'm wrong. So
just one.
Then we started.
But Jermaine's the only nigga that don't have a ring outside of Reggie. From Reggie, and Reggie's part of the story, but he's not. That story is Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, and Ron Artest.
So can I just say that people be on Twitter talking about they want $500K or dinner with Jay-Z? Like I want to do like dinner with Jay-Z or like dinner with Steven Jackson because I need to see the
Steven Jackson
because he's a real ass nigga and I definitely need to sit with that nigga. Like real people know other real people. I need to sit with that nigga and ask questions.
He was low-key my favorite. Like, he got some of my favorite quotables out of this fucking documentary.
Like, that nigga's a real nigga. Like, he said when they called me and told me they wanted me to come to the page, he said he was on the block. Niggas in the back like, oh!
Nigga, he was on the block when he got the news, nigga.
Listen, nigga's a nigga!
He was hanging and slanging and gangbanging, and he got the fucking news.
And got the call and was like, oh, next till chirp? Okay, yeah, great, I'll be there.
Where I'm at, the Pacers? Oh, okay, that's what's up. Like,
okay,
we out here.
Somebody take me. I need to.
Oh my god. Okay, so he did.
Sit with these white people.
He did. Like you know what was so interesting about that interview is the way they had to like shift it because he was like he really was like he really felt like terrible in that moment.
He would have like if they didn't try to like take that back and move it in another direction, he would have probably started crying. They wouldn't have got.
He'd have just sat. We'd have just been listening to all the shit that he meant to say to these niggas. Like,
and it's just, I mean, and that's another real life moment because like we expect athletes to always be on point, and even when you're emotional, like nah, nigga, this your job, and he took that time to be real because. Yeah, you deserve it because you did play with that team. It's a whole NBA season. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, that nigga realized the niggas that he was in the trenches with for real.
He got a second chance. And
he didn't feel like he shortchanged. Like, think about it. You shortchanged Reggie Miller.
Yes, exactly. You didn't
forget about all the rest of that shit.
I don't love Reggie Miller, but you fucked that man out of his literal only shot.
His only time.
The fucked up part about it is you filed, and that really is what sealed it. But niggas came back that next year and forgot about that file in order to say, fuck it, we're gonna do our best to get Reggie one before he got up out of here. And the fucked up part about this whole thing is it's not your fault that you reacted it's your fault you reacted that way, I guess, but
it's not your fault.
But it's not your fault that this shit started. But yet, when we forgot about that file, now that's all we can think about. Because at the end of the day, we are now in this position because of you. And I think he felt horrible. He deserved that ring with the Lakers. The nigga actually was a small.
No, he played well. And that's the thing that I think for
younger
people that weren't alive for Malice or weren't really, old enough to really see Ron Artest at his peak. Like people forget all the meta world peace bullshit aside, that nigga could play. Like it wasn't like he was some scrub, and I think that gets lost a lot of times. It's not like Ron Artest is no scrub ass dude. Like he could fucking play.
No, they was that nigga.
Yeah,
for all you niggas that say Paul George got defense, for all you Paul George defensive fans, that's who he learned. That nigga meta was Paul George, Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen, and
perimeter defense, one of the best to ever fucking do it. Here,
what?
Yeah.
Ron was one of the few niggas when we played ball against them niggas. Like as a fan, I would get fear in my heart. Like that nigga D was nasty.
He could shut you down. You had to worry about the steals. You had to worry about whether he was gonna shut down your favorite player.
He didn't give a fuck about being physical as shit.
You had to be concerned. Nothing. Only gonna give you 12 that night. You really had to be concerned. Like it was real fair. Like you had to be concerned.
That Pacers team played defense like the old Piston teams in the fucking 80s. Them niggas didn't give a fuck.
That's right.
That's why, and the Pistons from the 80s is why I wasn't allowed to be a Pistons fan in the 2000s.
Hey, yo,
because they was body slamming people at the base of the goal and shit.
Yeah,
I've literally met every starting bad boy except Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
that shit sucks. It's the only one I ain't met. But anyway, go ahead.
Maybe. So we see with all these white people.
Yes.
We need every white person in the goddamn documentary, every single goddamn one. Well, let me tell you,
I do, but I want to just remind y'all how close at this point. This is the year, like Reggie's last year. They have everything they need to win.
Yes, everything.
That's
that team was
so. I need y'all to know this was like that. Like, had this not happened, there's almost nothing that would have stopped them from that year.
If at the bare minimum, they would have pretty much rolled through the Eastern Conference Finals. Like they at least would have been in the NBA Finals. I don't recall who was whatever, but
we did. We went to the finals again that year and we lost to the Spurs. The Pistons
right. They did lose to the Spurs. I'm just saying
because Rasheed left fucking Robert Horry open on the wing. Who the fuck does that? Robert Horry got more rings than Jordan. What the fuck is you thinking? My bad.
More rings than Sonic.
He do. He got all the rings. She's right, and I mean, yeah. So
nobody would have stopped them niggas if that shit had happened. Real shit.
Charlie H is here with us, the season ticket holder guy.
And shout out to Buddy France, the nigga with the fro.
Right.
Like, if you guys have ever seen a Pistons game or against them, if you see it at Buffalo Wild Wings or your grandma's house, you got Buddy France. Like this, always in the crowd. So big ass white ass nigga with the biggest red, white, and blue fro ever in life. He looks insane, but I was actually happy that he was in a documentary because that gave me some authenticity. Like, okay, like they're really talking niggas that know.
The real Day One fans there.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is back like they said even in the documentary, nigga. We had the dopest intro. Like to have Mason. Listen, if you from Detroit and you know who Mason is,
I'm sorry, you said y'all had the dopest entrance.
Detroit basketball. When I heard that shit on 2K one time, I said, this nigga's freaking like. Yeah,
did you say that the Pistons had the best entrance in the NBA, like in the NBA?
No, I didn't say back. Fuck no. Everybody know that. Okay, come on, everybody know that.
Okay.
No, the Lions going down. Actually, get to the.
We're gonna do no more broadcast.
Okay.
If listen, that's the only song that has. You can turn that song on at any time. You pull your belt out and turn that song on, your kid know they getting on all my damn. You get out the shower. Turn that on, and you're like, oh, yeah, let's go. You turn that on, walking into your kid's principal's office, bitch, you know it's a fucking
on. It's fucking on.
Went through the shit, got on your Nike.
I ripped my pants off.
Mama, you fast.
Right. The tearaway is right.
Yes.
Sitting at dinner spot number 2 at the end of the table. Nah, I was saying we had the best announcer at that time. Y'all were
okay.
That run can
I did like him. He was announcing Quiet Storm.
Did y'all had a boxing announcer nigga do y'all shit one time? I don't think nobody else has had that.
Yeah, one of the Buffers showed up. One of them.
Yeah.
Michael Buffett.
Yeah.
So, Charlie.
I wrote multiple times, Charlie is a bitch ass nigga in my notes. I regret nothing.
He's a Piston fan, right?
Nigga. He not even a nigga, but
he was the Pistons, the one that went on the court.
That threw the cup. Oh, the one that
was on the court.
So yo, I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'm gonna definitely shut the fuck up. But hey, everybody watching, I'm texting them and I said, yo, I thought Jermaine O'Neal was a bitch ass nigga for hitting a ball boy. I thought for years that little fat fucker was a little ball boy. I thought Jermaine O'Neal had a child, and I was like,
not. Jermaine O'Neal is just unbelievably fucking tall.
I randomly end up in the same club with Jermaine O'Neal so I can send him a fucking. I want to send him a bottle just so he can be like,
does he have a P.O. box? Like Scruff McGruff. Like, I just want to send a little postcard and be like, hey, man, my bad. Thought you snuck the ball, boy. My apologies.
I literally, for years, nigga, I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We only got that one look. We never got the breakdown. We never found out who those people were. Watching it, we never really got the whole story. So, like, if you care about Thank you, because I regret nothing. He's a bitch ass nigga. Okay, so but let's talk about Charlie. Charlie's such a bitch ass nigga that how about before to this night that it was how this is happening, they was already about to take this nigga tickets away. They was already about to tell this nigga you could stop coming because that's how much of a bitch ass nigga he was probably being previously and beforehand.
Real shit.
Yeah.
I'm almost trying to figure out if he knew that it was his last night and that's why he was like, fuck it. Like,
I'm gonna go down there. Fuck it.
I must go down there.
You know
And the way this nigga was telling the story was just such.
You know what he thought? If you look at where they show him in the stands, he was around a group of black people. Niggas hadn't come out to Piston games in droves like that in years because we had just won the championship. Of course, we hyped again. What he thought was, I'm gonna run down here and they gonna follow me. No, Charlie, you don't even live on the southwest side with the Mexicans that we fuck with. We definitely not going down there with you. You about to get your ass whooped by yourself. They should have been took this nigga tickets, huh?
Which really, we don't, and that's the thing. I think black people at sporting events, we don't even, like, that's not even our wheelhouse. Like, we don't get drunk and act a fucking fool. It's like, no.
Those beers cost $18. I'm not throwing that at nobody.
We gonna drink a couple of beers and we gonna enjoy the game and we gonna go the fuck home. Like, we're not finna start Cardinals.
And I'm literally trying to get out before the game is over, so I can get away from y'all.
Bothering me. I don't want none of that.
As a Detroiter, the black niggas that threw the chair, I'm just gonna assume they was from the east side. But okay.
I mean, that seems fair.
This nigga took 10 minutes trying to pull like the anger that you have to continue to try to
rock a chair that is
to rock a chair off the ground. To throw it. Okay.
Fake ass wrestler.
So let's put you guys in the mode now, right? We're there. What comes up on
my Netflix? Untold.
Anyway. Yeah. So we're there, guys.
I guess we'll just start at the game. So there's the game. Ben Wallace loses his brother, and I don't think anybody knows this, and he plays anyway in this game.
Yes, I remember that.
And at this point, they are the Pistons have lost this game. They're down by like 15 or 20. You know,
too much to come back from at this.
Right,
point.
It's like
there's literally seconds left in the game.
Like it's a done bun. Like they could have pulled all the starters and it just would have been done.
Yeah.
And Jamal Tinsley.
I also want to make sure just to kind of set the. It was Tinsley. That's what makes it even fucking worse. Okay, but whatever.
I had forgot that nigga existed, and then I was like,
"That's what makes it worse." When a nigga had to be like,
if somebody would have been like, I thought that's why I thought Reggie said it, or maybe
no, because why would Reggie say it?
No?
Okay, but
and I guess whatever, and he was like, "Get your foul in." And
he said, "Now you." I remember how he said it. He was like, "Yeah, now you can go and get your foul." And he was talking about.
He said it on fucking camera, and then Ron goes, "What?" And then he goes, "You could get your foul now."
Right.
But I'm like, why would you put a battery in Ron's back to make him think that was okay?
You want to know why? Because you're Jamal Tinsley, and your check is you like nope.
Before we dig into this, I also want to just kind of give you guys an understanding of who's in the building. So if you guys have ever been to a basketball game and like let's say it's at your home, right? And y'all are killing these niggas, you're probably, like I just said 2 minutes ago, probably trying to leave already. So a lot of the people that are season ticket holders and like people that are normally like they're already gone as far as they're concerned. As far as exactly, because after it was happening, but as far as most people who go to these games on a regular basis are concerned, the game was won. I'm getting up out of here to get out of traffic, to get ahead of traffic. So we're dealing with like all the people that paid like $22 for tickets. Now trickling down to those better seats because all of these on now. So I just wanted to kind of set the scene for you guys so you guys can understand who was in the building.
Right.
These are not
nosebleed seat prices. Some people be thinking niggas be paying regular prices to sit all the way up there. Nigga, no. Shit was $30.
I went on a vacation with my cousins a few years ago to Miami, and they tried to convince me to go to a Miami Heat game with them. And I said, "Oh, bet how much are tickets?" And they said $26. And I said, "So y'all are gonna go sit on the curb and watch TV outside?"
That shit, straight nosebleeds, huh?
And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try to pull us some rich niggas." And I was like, "You're like a 5 in Miami. You could probably not do this." It was a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, because I'm probably like a 4.5 in Miami. Like, I got cute tips or whatever, but like, you know, hey, like it is what it is. Like, we all have to live within our limitations.
I mean, we did a show about that.
I was not going to pay $26 to go sit in the nosebleeds with the expectation that my titties were going to like lure a millionaire from the nosebleeds. Like, it's fine.
DC 10 is in New York 6.
Yeah, there you go. As I say, it is what it is, man. We all gotta live within our reality. And hey, I can't help that.
I mean, and Ohio 10 is a Michigan 4.
So, I just wanted to put y'all in the mindset of where everything was. So Jamal Tinsley tells Ron, "Take your foul." So at this point, Steven Jackson is guarding Ben Wallace, and there's no way. There's no way. There's no way that Steven Jackson is about to take this foul. There's literally almost no time left in the game. The game is over. There's no reason for Steven Jackson to take the foul. So instead, listening to Jamal Tinsley, Ron decides to push Ben Wallace. And
like hard as shit for no reason.
Hard as shit.
I said pushing is really hard as fuck.
Yeah, not only do you take the senseless foul, you foul the only other, at that time, big, monstrous, aggressive nigga in the league outside of yourself.
Like, yeah, like why would you pick a fight with the other bully on the playground?
So
of all the people.
I just it was too hard at that point in the game. Ben Wallace is interviewed and he even says that himself. And I can't ever tell this part. Did Ben mush him in the face, or was it did he like slap him?
I think he tried to react. And I mean, I can't really tell if it's a full-on smack or a mush either, but I think
it's somewhere in between.
I think when he went to smack the nigga, somebody pulled him and maybe it resulted in a mush.
Okay.
Yeah, like he didn't quite get his hand extended to slap, so that's what he kind of got.
It just kind of looked like
he looked like he might have a strong ass neck, but I don't want to take no smack from Ben.
Yeah.
So big ass. Nah, I don't want that.
So at this point, they fight.
But I also want to make a point. It's not like we haven't seen people foul like this on the NBA court before. So
right, but it's so little time left. It's like when a nigga is up by 30 and it's 30 seconds left and you go dunk the fucking ball. And then, nigga, you just let the time run out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even if you want to get your foul, like, I think everybody in that game mentally would have understood it had he just wrapped the nigga up, tapped the nigga on the hand, anything. Yeah, nigga, we got y'all back.
And then the man was dealing with some grief anyway. Like, it was just wild times. Like,
and right. And that's right. His brother just died. He ready to get the fuck up out of here, so he called his mama.
Yeah, he was already in a weird place, and then you done hit him, and then they erupted into a fight. Then Jermaine ass talking about, and Ben was wearing 1,000 headbands and armbands.
He said he just started throwing them and shit. And then they really showed the clip, and he really did this 5 times. Like,
yeah, he was really just pulling that shit off his arms and throwing it. God bless him, baby. He was very sweaty. I don't know.
So then Ron goes and does the thing that I was looking at like this. What the fuck is wrong with you, my nigga? He goes and just lays flat on the scorer's table. Now,
we find out it's a technique that he learned from therapy.
I was going to say, we didn't know what the fuck was happening then, but now we see that he's sitting there and he's counting because he says that his therapist says that if he counts, it helps. He gives him more time to think. So he's sitting there.
Yeah, maybe he should have went and sat in a chair.
It's like,
but
you ever seen that comedian that said, if you get into some shit, say 1, 2, 3. What the fuck is wrong with me? And half of that shit will leave you the fuck alone. That's
So,
what Ron was
Good
doing.
strategy. Well, it turns out that apparently people don't take kindly to you lying on their scores table when they're losing.
I mean, and you know, as an adult, I see the disrespect.
Right. I think that's the fucked up part is Ron was doing what he was doing to actually not be the Ron Artest we knew. And from the looks of it, as
he
a
was
fan,
the Ron
you were
Artest we
being
thought
the
he
Ron
was.
Artest we knew. Yeah, you arrogant fuck. You just fouled the shit out of the defensive player of the year after his brother died. You gonna go lay on my table as a fan?
I'm laying on your
fine.
scores table because your score don't matter because nigga, we won, nigga.
Exactly.
Like,
not right. You
that's what that shit looked like to me as we were watching
it. As a fan and never hearing this part of the story, that's exactly
yes, he was doing the Stanley.
He was doing the Stanley, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Well, it didn't work.
So it did not work. Before he could finish counting, I feel like, from the heavens,
from the depths and beyond,
from the depths of the palace, comes a swirling blue open ass 16-ounce fucking beer.
That shit, I thought that shit was a 64 bit gulp, nigga. That shit looked like,
it looked like it went forever.
I mean,
but anyway, they
makes
throw
you
it
think a lot of things about that moment. It felt slow as fuck. I appreciate that they brought that up in the documentary because I remember being like watching the whole thing.
it's whoever
like
was
I feel
down,
like if he had been paying attention and not having his eyes closed, like
he could have seen it
on these people's
look,
table. He would have seen the cup flying at him in slow motion.
Right. I want to go back to something Chris said earlier. This was a time, don't get me wrong, this was the 2000s, so we in the future. But this was the time where TV wasn't what the fuck it is.
Right.
So just like I owed Jermaine O'Neal a bottle in the club, whoever was that cameraman that somehow caught that cup as soon as it left that nigga hand, that nigga deserved a promotion. I'm talking about, shit was everywhere.
Like, it was stuff going on everywhere. Like, Ron Artest,
it was literally shit everywhere.
Like, he was the least interesting part of everything that was going on around him. And that's the part you zoom in on.
And as soon as this nigga did this, the camera was right there. Like,
well, he gets stuff. The next thing we know, he in the stand.
Ron gets the fuck up, goes into the stand, goes and hits who he thinks.
And
who he thinks is the person. And back then, we didn't know who threw it, so he was like, "Get that nigga."
Yeah, real shit.
Turns out it was not him.
Was not him at all.
Because the funny part is the nigga who threw it. If you really look at it, the nigga who threw it is
shoved him
trying to
towards
keep
the other
Ron from
niggas.
hitting this nigga though. He's not saying it's me. But I think he was like, "Oh shit, this nigga about to fuck this nigga up." No, Ron.
No, like you can see it where he ran towards him and he like shoves him kind of.
Yeah,
like he pushes him in another direction, and I guess he's like, "Oh well, yeah, that must be him."
Right.
And then Steven Jackson with his "I am my brother's keeper" looking ass.
Listen, and I appreciate a nigga like that again. Like Steven, if you ever in Vegas, like that's a real ass nigga.
I mean, I appreciate it, but I mean, in his defense, by the time he ran up there, they was kind of trying to like jump Ron Artest, like
that's why he ran up there.
Like,
I don't think he ran up there because he didn't think that Ron could handle himself.
I think he ran up there
because he saw things getting out of control. Like,
I think
and again, was to when this nigga got the news, most niggas when they get the news they're traded to a team, they're holding their baby and having dinner with the wife. He was on the block. That's why he ran up in them stands. He didn't let the dollars change him. Shit, nigga.
Yeah, the Pacers was the block.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I respect Steven Jackson for the same reason I respect Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose, the only nigga still got a job on goddamn ESPN that admitted to hanging out in crack houses and got pulled over drunk than a motherfucker. That black man still got a job. You gotta respect
Jalen hairline, Christian in a bitch, and he don't give a fuck. That man done lived his life, and I'm not mad at him. If you done lived 75 lives in the span of 50 years, God bless him. I also would like to live 75 lives. And if I know I can do coke off a stripper's ass in some kind of crack house and still have my job, I might be tempted to try.
This
so
nigga he admitted to taking money from the nigga in college. He was like, yeah, I don't know why Chris Webber lying. Niggas is like, yo, what the fuck?
I got a picture.
What are they gonna do to you now?
Right.
That nigga left.
Whole thing.
Fab 5-0, but this nigga don't care. Oh, we gonna vacate your wins. And bitch, I'm a millionaire. The fuck I give a fuck.
Very pointless, but just because his name got brought up. For all of you don't know, the night Kobe dropped 81, it had nothing to do with Kobe trying to be great. It had to do with the year before Jalen Rose attempted to fuck him. When they played them niggas in the finals, Jalen Rose tried to break Kobe's ankle on a play. Like literally hurt him. And so when that nigga got traded and Kobe seen that nigga again, that's why he dropped 81 points on them niggas, because Jalen Rose.
I believe that.
Pointless, but.
Okay.
Yeah, these folks
up there. They come down now, right? We've gotten them to come down. And if you guys, I battled to try to figure out if I could like figure out how to show y'all this, but I just need y'all to go watch it yourself. Because there is so many things to watch in that small frame. From Ron going up to Steven going up to other people going up. There's a lot of activity on the left side of the screen when you're watching. There's somebody who there's somebody like a teammate that came up there and don't have nothing to do with anything. I don't even know who that nigga was.
I think
and somebody was just punching him in the head. Yeah,
then I think Steven Jackson went up there and he like punched the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
I think
Steven, but it's a lot of stuff happening.
The nigga that Ron Artest was originally going for ended up throwing punches, and I think Steven ran.
He punched Ron Artest in the back of the head. The same dude that threw the cup.
Well, no. I'm saying, remember the nigga he went for, because he didn't go for the nigga that actually threw the cup.
Oh yeah.
For, I think after dude tackled Ron Artest, he went to try to punch the nigga now, and Steven Jackson was mollywhopping niggas. Like, hold up.
Yeah, he was yeah. So they got everybody out the stairs. They trying to get him into the locker room, but at this point, Gary and Jim, these two white ass cops. Apparently, with no police with this shit, they ain't got no security because the game almost over. Everybody done left, so they was like,
"It's three police officers in the entire building, and there is still at least how many people in there?
At least, I think the Palace held like 15,000, 16,000 people, so there's at least 12,000 left.
It was at least 12,000, 10,000 niggas still in there. 2-3 police officers. Y'all talking about ratios?
Listen, for all you niggas who just watched the Pistons for the antics, this was before the dancing Usher. Okay, so niggas wasn't staying around for the rest of the fucking show.
They was like, where are the police? And the police was somewhere, but not there specifically in that part of the stadium.
Right.
So they were there somewhere in the arena, but not there.
So I don't want us to forget. So we're coming down. Ron is now back on the floor.
Yes.
And Charlie's bitch ass
jumps down and
decides to come on. He said he wasn't going to fight him, so that's why I want to get this out, because I want to ask if these feel like things that people want to fight you would do. So Charlie's bitch ass comes down, sees Ron Artest coming at him, not coming at him like he's gonna fight him, just walking on the court. And Ron Artest said something that was interesting. He's like, I'm looking at him like he's a fucking alien, because why are you on the court?
Right. Like,
this is my shit. That's your shit. Why are you on the court?
That's why.
So I felt that
nigga was a ball boy, because he had the pistol.
Because why are you on the fucking court?
Make a wish kid at the minimum. Like,
okay. So Charlie bitch ass ain't a make a wish kid. He not a ball boy, and he's on the floor. So Ron is walking, and Charlie does this. What's that? What's that?
Nigga, like, what's good?
Have y'all ever seen somebody do this to y'all?
No.
And the shit was gravy after?
You want to fight. That's universal for I would like to fight.
He did the jump you ever seen that
with the closed fist.
The only time you ever seen that, and it didn't mean fight, is because Will and Carlton did that, and then they jumped on it. Well,
the only time. They were not jumping on it that night.
Nobody does this with the closed fist. With the closed fist, and you're not about to fucking do some shit. So bitch ass Charlie did that and got what he got, nigga. He got what he got.
Can I
and
say?
Then Jermaine.
And then
Hold
Jermaine.
Hold on, wait.
Okay, because that part is so epic, so epic.
There has to be, for all of you people who may not believe in a God, whether you believe Jesus is the Son of God, you believe in Buddha, whatever you believe in, the proof that there's a God is that Jermaine O'Neal slipped on whatever the fuck he slipped on.
The
nigga.
The nigga I thought was a ball boy would have lost his fucking life.
He would have I am confident that his head would have fucking fell off.
The punch he took still and
Jermaine O'Neal fucking had a running start with his running start.
For any of y'all who's ever thrown a football, you know if you throw a football off your back foot, it don't go as far. This nigga punched off his back foot while slipping and still put a nigga in a neck brace.
First of all, that's fake because Reggie Miller was definitely like, I'm happy that's the one time I was happy Jermaine missed because he would have knocked that nigga's head off.
I mean, when you see it, when they slow it down, it does this. It does that. Nigga, if it would have been inches higher, nigga, his whole life would have been changed.
Over. Probably wouldn't have been available for the... They would have been interviewing Charlie like this, like, well, I just feed him 3 times a day.
Charlie would have been speaking to us through a fucking computer with a goddamn
nigga with a straw, nigga.
Thank God for Stephen Hawking for designing this technology,
so I could be here today.
That's real. Oh my God.
I've never been more happy to see a nigga miss a punch. I love to see niggas get
Reggie was relieved. That's the part that had me crying. Reggie Miller's at 10, so it's like I've never been so
happy for a nigga to fuck up in my life.
Right. I've never been so happy to see a bitch nigga not get what he deserves.
Oh my God. He would have knocked that nigga's face in. And then the crazy part is they're like ushering them into like offices and shit. And the lady she's like, they brought him in my office and they were talking about, wouldn't it be funny if we sued?
True. Yeah.
And then he left in a neck brace. And then he left in a neck brace.
True. A bitch ass. The 911 calls, y'all.
Yeah, they start calling and they're like, hey, you need to send the cops to the palace.
I don't think there's any police officers here. Can you please send someone? I don't know if y'all know it was against tonight.
Well, you call 911 to be like, hey, niggas is fighting inside.
Now, mind you, look, for anybody that's never been to the palace, I don't know how niggas doing other stadium. The only other stadium I think I've been in, remember I told you all that creepy ass story where the doc jumped in the car with that doctor and ended up at the Cleveland game and saw LeBron like 4 rows back. Other than that, I ain't been to too many basketball games, right? So, but I've been to a lot of Palace games, so I don't know how niggas doing their city. But real shit, it wasn't that the cops wasn't there because they left early. Niggas will tell you go to a Palace game, it be the blue teenage niggas in the motherfucking parking lot, a few security guards, and the 2-3 niggas on the inside because nothing happens in Auburn Hills. They had that's the like a lot of people they stadiums is downtown in the major city. This shit was in the fucking east side of some town that only if you made big 6 figures did you live in. So nothing happened out there. So for the cops to be nowhere around, not only were they not around, 90% of niggas was at the crib sleep. At
the game in plain clothes, chilling. They done seen part of the game and went home. They they were there. Right. They just left with everybody else.
They just left. Exactly. It's one of the safest towns in the city, and it's like crazy that when that shit happened, that's what took the police so long to get there. Niggas was off. They was chill. They was the drunk fans at the game.
So then they start throwing everything. They get everybody kind of off. They start trying to get them into the locker room, and that's when the fans go crazy. They start throwing shit. It's popcorn, beers. They throwing somebody had a 2-liter fucking bottle of Shasta they was pouring on folks. I don't know. Listen. It was a lot going on in this video footage. I saw shit that they probably shouldn't be able to get in the game with.
And you don't know what Shasta is, you shouldn't be watching us.
I was like, where did you get a
It was
wrench
definitely
from?
Tiki Punch, nigga, that they wore on there.
Listen, Tiki Punch, bitch. Listen, that's the only shit I know that's been 88 cents the entirety of the time I have been alive. It ain't went up. They ain't put no tax on it. It's 88 cents.
Tahitian treat
It's
ain't
99 here, but I'm also okay with this. Like
Tahitian treat ain't went up none. Tahitian treat been 99 cents or $1.09 for the whole existence.
that's
Period.
it.
They ain't went up on nothing. You're not lying. So
We're
shout
from
out
the
to
Midwest. We're from the best region in the whole fucking country.
True
Anyway,
story. True story. Okay.
But yeah,
So
they
the
just
cops that are there.
wild. I saw a nigga with an elephant and a fucking like nacho platter. He threw that shit too. Like they were throwing anything they could get their hands on. I think I saw somebody throw their grandma.
right. Was it nacho night?
It was a chair, it was popcorn. They was throwing whatever they could get. Like they said, they was literally rocking the goddamn chairs,
rocking furniture off the ground, nigga, to throw in people. The cops that were there were about to mace Ron Artest.
Right. And Jim and Gary, or Jim and Goofy.
Yeah, them two niggas.
Whoever.
And he almost
like, I didn't
know who Reggie Miller was.
And he says, I wasn't gonna mace him. Bullshit, nigga.
The video definitely had you like this. Like, you were gonna mace him.
Like,
until a nigga with a suit came up. Until a nigga with a suit came up and it was confusing to you because you didn't like know who or understand who he was.
But my thing,
which is like, how you don't know who Reggie Miller is?
Even if you don't know who Reggie Miller is, there's a lot of people in Detroit jerseys that don't look athletic. They're coming out the stands. And all these black niggas in suits, they definitely wasn't in suits to sit in a fucking.
Like, yeah, if anything, the people in suits are probably the ones that should be down there.
Right.
Pick the ones in the fucking jerseys. Like, what?
And that's what fucking Reggie was yelling. Like, yo, you over here about to mace this nigga. Like, get these fucking fans the fuck out of here. Yeah. It's literally our team against every fucking body in Auburn Hills.
But you know what's so fucked up, and I can't speak for nobody else's region. But I honestly feel like that shit literally is. And if you're from Indiana, I do apologize. But if you're from where we from, it's Ohio, Illinois, and Michigan. We kind of don't really. Green Bay Wisconsin only get respect because they got the fucking Packers. Nobody really counts.
And Wisconsin Dells.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they there. We know y'all there. But so, like, I honestly feel like on some fuck shit, the cops was more in a sense of when certain shit break down, it get very, very regional and very state specific.
No, yeah, like they were there and they're supposed to be the cops. Yeah. It was also like fuck the Pacers.
Fuck exactly. For one,
like nigga, it was very fuck the Pacers.
Y'all part of us, but we kind of. The only niggas you hear talk about Indiana is the niggas that's from there. That's it. You ain't never heard a nigga say the Pacers was his backup team. Never.
I knew some people that liked Reggie Miller, but they were white. So
I mean, Reggie was cool. He was cool.
Okay, but they was like that was their favorite player. They was white. Let it go. They was white.
Yeah,
my
favorite.
Yeah, okay. He was your favorite player. He probably was white.
Favorite is a bit much.
Yeah.
So they finally get everybody off the floor, and your boy Steven Jackson with another quotable into the camera. Nigga, we wired together. Like print that, nigga. Put that in the
newspaper. All right, nigga. So he said, Steven says that Ron came in the goddamn locker room and was like, are we gonna be in trouble?
He was like, nigga. Yes.
Jermaine came there tried to fight that. They said they had to break Jermaine. He was gonna whoop Ron's ass.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He was avoiding him because he knew he was gonna come in there and try to whoop his ass. So then they tried to arrest Jermaine O'Neal, and I'm like, well, how was he the person?
What is not Jermaine?
Because they thought he hit a fucking ball boy like the rest of the world did.
They were supposed to put child abuse charges on that man.
You hit a 14-year-old.
Endangering a minor, child endangerment. He was going to go to jail.
My baby mama on here right now, she would tell you, like, yo, this nigga really thought this nigga hit a ball boy. Like, I was like, no. I hated that man for years. I thought that man hit a fucking team. But this nigga got prime coming, Jermaine. God damn, bro.
Oh my God.
He gotta go to second grade on Monday, Jermaine. Now he got a black eye. Look at you.
Right.
He got
I'm like,
biology. Calm down.
Nigga, I was the dumb nigga. Like, when is this nigga parents gonna sue?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that nigga was fighting children. Like,
So we're laughing and stuff, but like this night changes the NBA as we know it.
Yeah.
In so many ways. The newscasters are now calling it TBA, the Thug Basketball Association. They're using words like hooliganisms and fucking hip hop sports and just like gangsta. Like they just really
generation.
Yeah, hip hop.
Listen to rap, and that's why they're thugs, and they need to clean up the NBA. And somebody makes a valid point. Well, the National Hockey League goes out there and they whoop each other's asses every night, and y'all are
all the time. Y'all cheer when
they
beat when there's blood. Like y'all cheer. Like
that's all you get is a 5-minute penalty.
Wonder what the difference is.
And then you know what fuck it up for me too. Even if we take race out of it, yes, the fans created this bullshit, but as men, they were protecting themselves. I literally remember watching a game where fucking Reggie fouled Jordan, and Jordan sucked the shit out of Reggie Miller. And Reggie tells you this. It's in a 30 for 30. Reggie tells you, they'd be like, well, they put Reggie out the game. And it was like, Reggie, we can't put Jordan out. You know what I'm saying? It was the time when niggas would fight and there was a penalty of sorts, but you didn't make. Nigga, I watched the fucking, this past the bad boy days. I watched the Bulls and the Spurs a buck. I'm talking about buck. Break the fight up. Right. You got every 10 minutes of basketball. Nigga.
They break the fight up. They chilled. Whoever win the game. Then on the weekends, they get together to golf and play cigar. You know, they get together to play golf.
Exactly.
And that's my thing, man. They villainize these niggas for protecting themselves. Yes, like you can say yes, you're $1 million man and you should have a better head, but we on the road. It doesn't matter. We are right. We on the road.
I don't think it matters.
10,000 fans is coming at us like they want to scrap. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Well, I think that's also the thing, right? They call, oh, well, these people make millions of dollars. They should be subject to whatever abuse. It shouldn't matter. And I would think that's a very interesting take from whoever, because we do that with, well, not we in general, but I think as a public, we do that with anybody, rappers, singers, ball players, whatever. If they're rich and we feel like they're entertaining us in some way, people take that as an entitlement. They should be able to say or do whatever the fuck they want to these people like they aren't people. Like at the end of the day, they're still people. And you wouldn't throw a fucking cup of beer at a motherfucker at the bar in the mall without expecting this motherfucker gonna punch you in your shit. But because it's Ron Artest, it's okay.
Right.
Because it's a basketball game, it's okay for you to act a fucking fool and throw a chair. Because if a bitch throw a chair at me, any goddamn where, we on go. I don't give a fuck about nothing.
Basketball game.
You die. Like basketball game, the grocery store, Trader Joe's, your baby daycare, like
surgery,
and it does not matter. And well, you should think more about it because you have $1 million and you have a lot to lose. Well, I'm gonna lose.
A person is a person.
Yeah.
Go lose it all. All that sounds like to me is I got enough money to cover a lawsuit. That's all it sounds like to me. I got enough money to cover my ass when I get finished whooping yours.
My whole thing is niggas act like if you in the 1%, you're not supposed to act the fool. When niggas don't realize is the 1% financially is actually a lot closer to you than what the fuck you think. Nigga, 1% start at $445,000 a year. That's where the 1% starts. Stop thinking that niggas just because they got money, niggas ain't supposed to have an attitude. Baby, the bitch that worked 2 floors up for you will fuck you the fuck up.
And I think it's one of those things, right? They always say, oh, well, you got money and you changed. Well, which is it? Like, which one do you want it to be? Do you want me to have money and not change? Or do you want me to have the money and fucking change? Like, which one do you want it to be? Not to mention these kids. And the thing that also, like, I think with black men, especially like larger bodied black men, they don't get to be fucking kids. Like, it's always, remember Ryan Lochte went over to wherever the fuck those Olympics were and was out there beating up the fucking people in Brazil.
Yep.
And that was like, oh, he's just a kid. They were just kids having fun. That nigga was damn near 30. Ryan Lochte is my age.
But when he's black, like, nigga, I remember my son. I remember somebody telling me my son couldn't play with their kid because he was too old. I said, nigga, my son 2 years younger than yours. Now, if it's because he's bigger than your kid and you think he gonna fucking
say that.
Say that.
Say that. But they aren't allowed to just be.
A fucking 16-year-old. No, nigga, this nigga's like 12. Relax,
black
bro.
boys aren't allowed to be black boys. And if we're gonna hold these white 30-year-olds to the standard of being boys, in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, and Steven Jackson. And between the three of them, the average age might have been 25. Really, it's like 22.
Jermaine was
like 20 years old.
Jermaine was like 21, 22. Steven Jackson was probably the oldest
to drink between the three of them. Steven Jackson might have been the oldest person.
And he was probably like 26, 27. Yeah.
Real but they shit. Couldn't even go to a fucking bar and get into a fight, but you over here holding them to some exalted standard, and now they're thugs and hooligans. They're 20-year-old kids, and y'all's 20-year-old white babies will fuck up a college campus and burn that shit down if they.
You know what that's the result of though. Them calling them thugs and hooligans was because if you think about it, that ever since the Fab Five changed the way that you wear basketball shorts, niggas been targets, and they needed something. Oh, look, see, we told you. Don't let the hip hop in here. Don't let these
that's when they
like Steven Jackson never should have gave you niggas money.
Exactly. So then that's when they enforce the dress code. That's when you start seeing all of the big ass suits that don't fit niggas and shit.
Niggas with Steve Harvey in it up 10 times too big.
Like, why you got this much extra pants like at the bottom of your shit?
It was wild days. And then what's crazy is David Stern.
Suit cuffs is dirty.
Yes,
because they dragging on the floor.
Fuck you, bitch. Yeah. I hope you choke on that water one day. I'm waiting. I hope that fucking
David
water
Stern.
Gets you. I hope that water gets you, bitch. You got off that one time on the meme, but I hope it gets you the next time. Oh,
ain't David Stern dead?
Is he?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, I hope the water fucking up wherever he is. Okay.
I hope the water is never cold where you at, David. Okay, so 48 hours after this happens at the palace, David Stern gets up there and basically said, look, I ain't got to ask nobody. I ain't got to confer with nobody. This is what it is.
I'm suspending everybody. So what?
Ron, you can't ever come back here this season. Steven Jackson, I see you in 30 games. Jermaine O'Neal, I see you in 25.
Ben Wallace
and Nichols was like, who you talk to about this? He was like, nigga, me, myself, and I. Have a good evening.
Yeah, they act right. Remember, the reporters was like, so what kind of decision was it? He was like, it was a unanimous decision.
It was unanimous.
Me
1-0, nigga.
And like Jermaine O'Neal said, like he made the decision based on footage on like editing.
Yes, the same stuff that we saw.
ESPN. Yeah. Because it was 48 hours later. There's no fucking way you went to the goddamn palace in Auburn Hills and was like, hey, so I need all your camera footage so I can see it from all the angles.
You're telling me that the nigga that stopped Chris Paul from going to the Lakers when he could have played with Kobe is a nigga that makes good judgment? Nigga, please. Listen, God rest the dead, but nigga, please.
So he made that poor decision, and then we get a prosecutor that
who made a bunch of poor decisions. Wasted taxpayer money, his time, the police.
He even said it. He even said it. He was even like,
and the poor police officer was like, I don't know.
Go back to something real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all jump right back in.
Yeah.
Y'all brought up how shitty the police were. Do y'all know? For everybody who hasn't seen this documentary, the only way they found the nigga who threw the cup is because my man's was like, y'all think that nigga used to fuck my neighbor?
Yes. We're gonna get there.
Shitty police work. Anyhow, go ahead.
So the prosecutor, they're isolating images. Like they're basically looking at the footage, isolating images, and then putting that shit on television, being like, if you know this person,
if you know this nigga, call me.
Yeah, call the crime stopper if you know this person.
But yeah, so the prosecutor has an opportunity to look at all of the cameras. We're talking about concourse cameras, and then like every single camera from every single fucking angle in the fucking building. So he's going through all of this, thousands of pages of notes, and he's fucking looking for these motherfuckers. He is out for the fans. And again, here we are with Charlie bitch ass.
And he had the nerve to feel like he shouldn't have been prosecuted. Oh, nigga, that's assault. Get the fuck out of here.
Here's my thing is that they interviewed him and he was just the whole time was just like they didn't treat a fan well. Like, and they should be held responsible for this. Like, You are held responsible for this, nigga.
Sit your dumb ass in your seat.
But that's what it is. It's this sense of entitlement. I have season tickets, so I can treat people however the fuck I want.
And he didn't even have season tickets no more, nigga. Like he thought
I hope he's banned. I don't even know where they play ball at now, but I hope he can't go to that hoe either.
they finally play in Detroit again, but like that's the thing, like Charlie. You ain't even a Mexican from Southwest, nigga. You look like one of them, like a transplant nigga from like.
I don't think he's Mexican.
Like, not even him.
That H sounded.
What
like
was his last name?
How did it sounded very.
Then I mean you from Dearborn to Dearborn Heights. And
yeah, it was very not Mexican.
Whatever nationality he is, what stands universal is that he was a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, he's a bitch ass nigga in any language, any nationality.
Like Penrose said, we get to trying to figure out who the fuck is this nigga in this hat through this cup. Prosecutor IDs him. Definitely was like, I definitely saw you finger banging my fucking neighbor last Friday.
Finger popping in the car.
Now,
here's my favorite part. This is my favorite part.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Niggas don't remember other niggas unless they fucking bitches we can't fuck.
The prosecutor's neighbor is hot. Like, I was like, he's invested in his neighbors. Like, why do you know somebody's neighbor?
How the fuck who your boyfriend is if he's not in my way?
Like, why you know so much about your neighbor's pussy? Like, you got a wife. You have a wife and kids, but you really invested in this lady's pussy, so she must be real cute.
You couldn't make this nigga out from all the cameras.
He ID'd him from this big of a picture.
Come on. He tell you can't have no pussy. You was like, that's James. That is James.
I know that nigga.
I know.
Okay.
He's getting the funniest thing. I know him.
The funniest thing is after his picture goes out and after the prosecutor IDs him, a fucking news anchor, the reporter goes to his house. Why is this nigga still wearing that same hat? Like, why do you look like the picture that niggas is looking for? Like, what are you doing?
Why don't you have on a mustache or something as a disguise?
Are you trying?
You couldn't get a different hat? I wouldn't even have a hat no more. I don't wear hats. I've never had a hat.
Hats! I don't wear those.
You couldn't even get a different color?
Even if you sitting there smoking a cigarette.
You couldn't get a red one, a blue?
Hats! Never heard of them.
You put it to the back in ages.
Right.
I've worn a hat since 73. Okay, but look.
I rock do-rags every now and then, but I don't know this.
That's about it.
I don't know no hats. I ain't never met a hat in person.
Ever since Jay-Z killed Fitteds, I don't do those.
That's not a thing that I partake in. So John Green is his name. What bothers me is that he thought this shit was funny. Like he thought that it was funny that Ron Artest attacked the wrong guy. And like he really was like doing interviews and everything. Like, yeah, I'm the guy who threw the cup. Like, what the fuck?
They said when he went past you and hit the other guy, what were you thinking? That nigga said, "Shit, thank God it wasn't me."
Thank goodness it wasn't me.
John was very douchey. He was
like that nigga too.
Yeah.
He's probably from Royal Oak.
He got assault and battery charges.
You're from Royal Oak.
2 counts. Everybody else mostly got probation. Like even Charlie's bitch ass just got probation and shit. Like,
yeah,
he's the only one who got 2 counts of assault and battery
because he didn't want to plead out because he thought shit was sweet.
Yeah.
So Reggie retires after this brawl. Like that's his last. See, basically their season is over. They're not gonna win. That guts their team.
After that, yeah.
So after that, look, I'm done. So that was his last season. I guess what I did not know is that Jermaine O'Neal like appealed the suspension all the way up to the federal goddamn court, and they were like, "Nah, you have a right to protect yourself, G." Like, nah,
I knew that then, but it was still just like that. Like this nigga was. There was still a lot going on at that time.
Another quotable from Steven Jackson. He said, Jermaine went in there super like, prepared. He's like, I didn't go up there with no story because I ain't give a fuck. Like he said, I said, sorry for fucking going to the stands. Sorry for fucking ruining your game.
Sorry,
that's all I got. And they definitely didn't decrease it. But I would have decreased it. They got to be like, all right, my
nigga. Okay. You look like you learned your lesson.
I feel you.
You know what?
You
know why they didn't decrease that nigga's penalty? They kept that penalty because he was a real nigga. I mean, his whole
he walked in there
from
was
the
like,
time it popped off to this motherfucking documentary, he has said the same thing. You're my niggas. I'm about to ride for you.
Yeah.
Simple. And I mean, when you really, at the end of the day, if you're really going to reduce the suspension, isn't that what we want? When we send our kids out here, our kids that go to the military and fight wars, don't you want your kid to have a nigga next to him that's going to ride for him? So at the end of the day, don't get me wrong.
No, I want my kids to like be on refrigeration duty. No, what the fuck? No, I want my kid to be the one cooking the meal, sweetie. Like if we're gonna go,
I want my kid to cook a mean oatmeal, nigga, at 5 a.m.
I want him to be the one working on the tank back at base. Like what the fuck are we saying?
I need my kid to be making the army to go plates.
Yeah,
like,
I remember shopkeeper telling me.
I need that nigga to be the one signing the paperwork where they check out the guns. Like, I don't need him.
You need this?
Like, you want this one?
Okay. He closed his fence back up and shit.
Okay, thanks, guys. Head it back.
Look. I talked about this shopkeeper job one time. I was like, nigga, you don't do nothing exciting. He was like, that's cool. Go do all the exciting shit you do. I'll be here in the morning, though. You might be dead. And I was like...
True shit, nigga. Nigga, he went to bed and got up early and made that oatmeal. Okay, so guys,
400 to make sure everyone had a delightful meal.
You hear me. So Reggie retires with no ring. Ron at this point asked to be traded, and that hurts Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal's feelings, which fucking makes sense because it's like you're not the reason we're in this, but you're the reason we're here.
Again, that
and at least you could do is still be here.
Yeah, that file went away until the day you said, "Yo, let me get traded." Nah, my nigga.
Yeah, it's like this is on you.
Yeah, and that thing, and to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. Lay Jermaine O'Neal in that scorer's table. That fan doesn't throw that cup.
I don't think so.
Really, anybody else
but Ron Artest. Ron Artest, again, this is like this. If Dennis Rodman had laid on that scorer's table, he gets the same reaction. When you're the antagonizer of the league, but you have no respect, the nigga literally he pretty much said, remember that nigga said was like, yo, everybody was an enemy, but on the court, that's the only time you wasn't my enemy. So the only people that you find your friends is the 4 other niggas that's on the court with you at that time. So the fans and everybody, you know what I mean? He projected himself that way. At that nigga, and then at the same time, even if we look at it from the mental situation, the fan is still just looking at it like, yo, you're an entitled fucking millionaire and you acting like a bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, had it been anybody else, had Robert fucking Ory, had Tree Rollins, had Dikembe Mutombo, had goddamn Spud Webb laid on that motherfucker.
Not Spud Webb.
No cups get thrown at all.
No. I agree. I think it's just he was a lightning rod for that type of behavior and controversy, and that's unfortunate. But I think he was dealing with some stuff mentally that maybe he should have made plain to the other members of the team, so they could have maybe been like, "Let's try to insulate Ron."
Yeah. But that's the fucked up part about it. That was still a time where if you that rich of a nigga and you say you got any type of mental issues, he'd have got blackballed like a motherfucker.
Which, I mean, I still think they do now, right? They see it as some type of risk, but I mean, the truth of the matter is probably more.
Most niggas is playing with something wrong.
I was like, yeah, most people probably need to be the majority of them probably need to be in therapy.
I forgot the dude's name. That the one that he played for the Rockets and came out and told him that he had an issue. And I can't remember his name. He could ball his ass off. And they did an interview with him. He's like, it's funny that they talking to DeMar DeRozan and Chris, the nigga from the fucking Cavaliers, the white boy. Goddamn, I can't think his name. Used to play for the Timberwolves. Any motherfucking way. He's like
with the hair and the tattoos.
Nah. You talking about Birdman?
It's Birdman. Oh, he was on the. Never mind.
The nigga used to. Why I can't think the nigga that he went to Cleveland
and the Nuggets.
Who?
Oh, Birdman. Sorry, I was still talking about.
Birdman played for the Clippers and the Nuggets. Birdman was that nigga. Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of who you're talking about, but you're not talking about the Gasol boy, so not him.
I can't think of the nigga name. Nigga, white boy shooting 3-pointers, used to play for the Timberwolves, power forward, went over to Cleveland because LeBron was there. They won the championship with him and LeBron. And
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. Boom. There you go.
Oh,
Good Lord, that was gonna eat me up. I was like, I know
It was
who you're
killing
talking
me.
about.
I'm like, damn, look, I felt bad about not remembering that what's the name graduated from Nevada. I felt really horrible right now, though, and that's fucked up. Anyhow, all of that shit was going on, and it's like, I forgot what the fuck I was going on. We done got way the fuck off track.
That's why I mean we done basically.
Yeah, basically the
Jermaine never recovered. The Palace gets
demolished in 2017. These people went on to have Ron Artest went on to have a second act and be Meta World Peace, and then
but all of them got a ring except Jermaine.
Steven Jackson got a ring, I believe, with the Spurs. He went on to kind of play past that. And Jermaine O'Neal, who was the youngest person in the bunch, basically had his fucking career gutted because of this.
Because he was the leader of the team. He was the face of that team. Yeah.
Even though it didn't have shit to do with him.
So forgive me because I don't remember much of him past and playing for the Pacers. Where did he play after that? Did he?
I don't know.
I don't
Somewhere, right?
I mean, he was still on that team, I think. I can't remember where he went.
He played there for a while, right? Like, I'm trying to remember where he went after that. And I
can't see another jersey. I can't see another jersey on him for some reason.
Me neither. And that's the fucked up part is like
he went to the Warriors at some point? But not when they won.
That had to be when they were bad then.
I'm about to say not when they won, though. Like,
yeah. But like, it's just to see his career and to see
the Pacers, the Golden State Warriors, and the Suns. That's it.
See, I don't even remember him with the Suns.
That sucks.
God.
At all.
I don't remember.
What year do it say that he went to the Warriors?
Hold on a second. It doesn't just.
I'm sorry, I look shocked like this because that's horrible. Like
that's terrible. Okay, so 96 to 2000, the Trailblazers. 2000 to 2008, the Pacers. Oh, it's more teams. 2008 to 2009, the Raptors. 9 to 10, the Heat. 10 to 12, the Celtics. 12 to 13, the Phoenix Suns. 13 to 14, the Warriors.
I do remember the Celtics.
I recall that briefly now that you say it.
But the rest of that Raptors, that Heat shit, when was this?
Phoenix Suns?
Right.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, that sucks. His career.
That's terrible.
Well, yeah, we need to find out where the nigga be hanging out or whatever, where his kids' kindergarten, so we can pull up and give him a bottle.
Is edible arrangements still a thing?
I know. Like, can we send you some edible arrangements, Jermaine?
Like the little mini bunt cakes or whatever.
Yes, Jermaine, DJ made senses. The
first you need some smells, my nigga. Like, I'll send you a drink.
I'll make you some aromatherapy smells. Like you like eucalyptus.
Listen, Gray Sweats will have your wife where she needs to be, Jermaine. I can't tell you about what somebody else told me. I can only tell you about my own life. Goddamn.
I want him to have something. I don't know. Maybe we need to steal somebody's ring. Steal somebody's ring and give it to him. Hell, I want him to have one now.
Come down here, go to our pawn shops. There's plenty of NFL and NBA rings in the pawn shops. Come grab one. It's yours. Like
we'll give you rings. Like we love. Like I love you. Like listen, I feel bad. Like I want to hug you so bad.
If you are in any one of our Jermaine, if you are in Washington D.C., Dallas, Texas, or Las Vegas, Nevada, anytime soon, email the show. And if you say you're going to be in one of those cities, I will make it my business that all three of us will be there to show you the best time or whatever money arrangement we can figure the fuck
whatever out. We can do.
I mean, it ain't going to be your money level, Jermaine. But
no, it's definitely.
Is treat you to the finest Waffle House has to offer.
You're going to have like a $500 night top. That's what
I know a place that does 5 shots of Ciroc for $20. So
we can get a hookup. You're into that. We can do a quickie wedding, maybe. We run through Vegas.
Whatever you want to do.
Like get an Elvis impersonator. Like I can
hook up.
I'll dress up like Ron Artest and you can dunk on me. Like
listen, I think my hookup at the bar is starting to dry up, but if you come with us, Jermaine,
right now.
We're just gonna be like, hey, this is Jermaine O'Neal. And like we're gonna get in and we'll do whatever you would like to do.
You know how many the bartender age is so fucking young now. They'd be like, Jermaine, who's this guy?
Yeah,
like,
true.
Jermaine Jackson. It's Weather Jackson or whatever. Whatever it takes to get us in. If you can, I'll take you to Six Flags. You like roller coasters?
He seems too tall.
Right.
You ride one of the ones with your feet dangle. We ride Mr. Freeze. I think your feet dangle on that one.
We're not
It's
trying
like
to
you
shortchange you,
backwards.
Jermaine.
It'll be cute.
We
You
just
want to
gotta
ride
stay
that?
within our budget. We parents and working people. Like, you know, shit.
He can go to the splash park part or whatever, take him to the water park. Yeah, he got like
I ain't trying to go to Wet n Wild Trip.
yeah,
We
You
can
wanna
go.
throw
We
your
can go
boogie
to the
board?
water park. And Jermaine, when we get to the tubes where they let the floor out, you get to go first.
yeah. We'll float the lazy river. I'm gonna buy you a coconut full of whatever they selling over there. We got you.
I'll make sure that we tie enough tubes together so that you can lay comfortably.
Come on. We don't have rapper money, Jermaine. So we owe you.
But we just want to let you know that we appreciate you and we're truly, truly like devastated that this shit happened.
I didn't know
Real
it was that
shit.
bad. Shit's fucked up. I'm sorry all those white people called you a thug. That was real fucked up.
Real
Very
shit.
fucked up.
And also, Woody Page, you owe him an apology. And Stephen A. Smith, bitch, I saw you.
Yeah,
you
you
owe him an
fucking-
apology too.
Nugget head ass nigga.
Stephen A. Smith and Martin Lawrence are like distant cousins or some shit. They
You
got
owe it. You apologize to Jermaine O'Neal. Right the fuck
that
down.
nigga. That nigga Stephen A. Smith is in now wearing that suit he was wearing in that interview. Like he just that suit was big as fuck. You know the time a nigga wears granddaddy's suit. Why you got that suit on? Cause I love my granddaddy. Like, you just let the nigga deal with it.
Please stop.
That nigga Stephen A. had the George Jefferson starter hair.
He did have that baby fro. He had a baby.
He did.
And
He did.
He was trying to be professional with NBA player suits on. Like,
Is that
It's
why
this
why-
much an
is that
extra
why white
pants
people
leg
like
though.
him?
Like
Because he started with a baby fro. Is that why white people like him? He had the starter fro, like the.
he had the George Jefferson. Like,
okay.
Stephen A.
Okay, we're gonna have to. Okay,
enough
that's
to
enough.
stay
We're talking
home.
about this for 2 hours. I'm done.
Right.
I don't have nothing else more to give to this.
All right.
I don't got nothing more to give to this. They done demolished
Guys.
the palace. These niggas was fighting each other. White people done called them everything but niggers on national TV. I don't have nothing else. Okay.
Only thing I got left is I think again the worst part about it was Jermaine O'Neal caught a raw deal. Everybody else got a
For
ring.
sure.
Reggie left, and the face.
I mean, I
the
feel
face
bad
of the
for
league.
Reggie, you know, because he left
Yeah.
without it, especially when in a year where like there was nothing that was going to stop them from getting.
Like it was a clear
Yeah.
path to the goddamn ring. Like literally,
Yeah.
they were the only thing standing in their way.
Yeah, the Pistons. As much as I'm a Piston fan, we wouldn't have stood up to them niggas that year at all.
Mm-mm.
I want to say that's the second time we played them that year already, and they bust our ass the first time. I think like it wouldn't have been. You know what I mean? So yeah. So you know,
Guys,
I shout out to Jermaine, shout out to Reggie Miller. I mean,
Yeah.
shout out to all them niggas. Ron Artest, Steven Jackson as well. But like
yeah,
Jamal Tinsley,
Tinsley,
I don't want you to die, but I hope you.
but you
get
can't come to Six
the
Flags.
best-
with
Jump on that.
us.
You can't come to Six
Yeah.
Flags with us. You can't come to the splash
Listen, and
park
if
with
Jermaine
us.
let you come out with us when we go to the bar, I hope you get the best dry martini ever. And when you eat your blue cheese olive for like 3.5 seconds, you're like, because that shit get live in your throat. You fucking.
I want you to be scared of choking, but not choking. Like I just want
I
you to
don't want you
not
to
choke.
die. I don't
Just
want
choke a
you to
little.
die. I want
Right,
you
you
to dance
just-
with the wrong
Then you'll
nigga.
get it back up.
And he spit shit out you. I'm right.
But Steven
You
Jackson,
get your foul.
Steven,
Oh wait, this way.
Oh, right.
Just a little, Jay. Just a little. He started all this.
just a
It's
little
all kind of
choky
his
choke,
fault.
nothing major, little choky choke. You know, like
We're not
when
winning.
you tell somebody to choke you
Just
a
so
little.
like the tears come, but like
Yeah,
not
like,
to like.
somebody choking you in
But
bed.
not
You
Jesus.
don't want to die. You just want to get like
It's
right
like-
up to the orgasm. Like I want
know
that
when you
for
about
him,
to-
but like in reverse.
You know when you about to throw up and you get the water in your mouth? We don't
Just
want
that.
full water. We just want the begin.
Yeah, like in the back, right here.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys, if you guys want to watch this,
it's on Netflix.
It's Malice at the Palace, not in it. It's on Netflix.
It's Malice in your heart.
It's the Malice is whatever you want it to be. But this one happened in Auburn Hills. You guys can watch it. It's like a little bit over an hour. We obviously talk way longer than documentaries we watch are, so there's that. But yeah, so I think that's it. I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose.
If we ever watch a 3-hour documentary, you know what this live is gonna be like.
We'll just be here all night. I don't know. Call her.
Call me.
All right, guys. Bye.
Oh, bye.